Welcome in. We got a very special video here today, Sam. We've decided to crowdsource every draft analyst we could find with the goal in mind. Let's find everyone's favorite prospect. It's draft time. Everybody's got their own opinions. Everybody's been diving into the tape. Who is everyone's favorite?
Yeah, exactly. This is, I think, will be a fun video. We'll give our favorites, but also we've sent out canvassing messages, emails, texts, everything we could think of to everybody we could think of to get everybody's favorite, not necessarily the best, everybody's favorite prospect in the draft.
All right. Do you want to kick things off? Show us how it's done, and then we'll get to everyone else.
My favorite prospect in the entire draft is TCU athlete, let's call him, Shavon Williams. I don't know if he's a wide receiver. I don't know if he's a running back, and I just don't care. And I don't care that these guys don't work out well at the NFL level. I'm never going to quit them, whether it's Peter Warwick, Tavon Austin, Cordero Patterson, and now Shavon Williams. The NFL is bad at figuring those guys out, but I will never quit a freakish athlete who's just a ball player. The guy broke 40-plus tackles on like 100 touches last season. He had 12 touchdowns on those 100 touches. I just want him on the team and then desperately hope he's good.
That makes sense to me, Sam. As I was watching Shavon during the fall, I was thinking, Sam's going to love this guy once he gets to the film. And I'm glad that you backed that up. My favorite's Zade Barron, the cornerback from Texas. This guy just kept growing, not on just me, but other prospect or other analysts as we went through this entire process. As you got to the combine, as you got through the offseason, the more film you watch on Barron, he's just one of those guys who is an awesome football player, no matter which role Texas put him in, to the point where he was playing some linebacker snaps, not just box safety, but legitimate outside linebacker snaps. He has one of my favorite plays of all time when he's, playing outside corner, has no threats in his area, and goes and robs a deep crossing route for an interception. So excellent ball skills, moves extremely well, ran a sub 4.4 40 at the combine, and just a good all-around football player. The only question on Barron is the short arms. Can he be a full-time outside corner? Maybe not in some schemes, but he could play inside, he could play outside, he could play free safety if you want. I think he's a fit for every team because he could fill multiple roles as just a good all-around football player.
So those are our favorite players. Let's take a listen to everybody else's.
I'm Mike Renner, NFL draft analyst for CBS Sports. My favorite prospect in the entire draft class is David Walker, the defensive end from Central Arkansas. Absurd body type. He's 6 foot, 263. He's built like Michael Turner, but bigger as like a defensive end. And his tape's just absurd. Yeah, it's the FCS level, but it looks like high school level, the way he's dominating these guys. I just can't see anyone stopping his bull rush with his explosiveness, with his play strength, and with that low center of gravity. I think he's going to be a problem at the NFL level. Not getting a lot of hype, no clue where he's going to go in the draft, but I'd take him top 50. I think the guy's got it.
All right. My favorite player in the draft is Alabama linebacker Jahad Campbell, who I think is not only the best off-ball linebacker in this draft, pretty clearly, but really in the past few drafts. I'd have to go back a minute. Just love his game. First thing that jumps out is the athleticism, just leaps off of the tape, whether it's that sideline to sideline range he has, which is quite rare, frankly. The first step he shows rushing the quarterback, which is a skill set that I think gives him a floor in the NFL. It is honestly just extremely tremendous, and paired with the level of intelligence that really bodes well for his ability to play middle linebacker in the league. Super smart player, very good at route recognition and zone coverage, understanding where the quarterback wants to go with the football, using his length, disrupt passes, and violent against the run as well. Good tackler. Just love his game.
Hey everyone, Jordan Reid here of ESPN. My favorite player in the 2025 draft is Colorado cornerback / wide receiver Travis Hunter. I think this is a very rare prospect. Not only did he dominate on the offensive side of the ball by winning the Biletnikoff, but also he went in on the defensive side and did the very same thing. I project him as a cornerback, but I would not be surprised if a team ends up playing him at wide receiver. He's just special on both sides of the ball and could be one of the very rare two-way players in the NFL. He's my top-ranked draft prospect, and I would stand on the table for taking Travis Hunter in this year's draft.
What's up, everybody? Trevor Sikkema here from Pro Football Focus. One of my favorite prospects in this year's class, UCF running back RJ Harvey. This is my boy, and the reason why is because he'll make you miss in a phone booth every single time he touches the football. Very high missed tackles forced per attempt average. Really love the footwork, love the vision as well. I didn't even know he had that in him in the combine when he gave us the long speed as well. So now I got the long speed to add on top of it. I think he's a really good finesse, scat back part of a committee. I think he could be a great 1-2 punch in the NFL because of how often and how natural he makes you miss in the open field. So RJ Harvey, that's my guy in this class.
All right, this is Field Yates from ESPN here, draft analyst, and my favorite prospect in the 2025 NFL draft is Donovan Jackson from Ohio State, who is going to be a guard in the NFL, but showed this past season that he can play offensive tackle. Josh Simmons goes down with a patella tendon injury, and next thing you know, the Ohio State Buckeyes turn to Donovan Jackson, who had been a stalwart at guard for years. He kicks out to left tackle, started off a little bit rusty, but by the end of the season, he looked like a dominant player at that spot. You've got positional versatility, you've got strength, you've got toughness. Give me Donovan Jackson, one of my favorite guys in all of the 2025 NFL draft.
What's up, guys? My favorite prospect in the draft, not the best prospect, but my favorite prospect, a guy that I will absolutely carry the flag for and believe in, is Josiah Stewart, the edge rusher out of Michigan, transferred there from Coastal Carolina. Undersized, but man, he plays fast, furious, violent, understands how to win around the corner. I think he's got violent hands. That pursuit speed is how he finishes plays. The pass rush win rate, it was all there for Stewart. So yes, a size outlier there on the edge. But if you need a stand-up rusher on passing downs to get your defense off the field, believe in Josiah Stewart.
Howdy, Ben Solak with ESPN. I think my favorite prospect in the class is Kansas State corner Jacob Parrish. I love a small corner who's feisty. He's a real son of a gun. He's so good in press, way better in press than he should be for his length and for his size. He can go up against bigger receivers, gets into their hip pocket. He's highly competitive at the catch point. Then he tackles well, which you need from a nickel, right? He'll get up there and run defense. He'll go hit a guy. And then because of the size, the quickness, he's good in off cover. He's good in zone too. And he's smart, like I said. He's very competitive at the catch point. So yeah, his length is a limiting factor. He's probably a nickel full time, but still, I think he can start there for you. And he's real fun to watch.
My favorite prospect in the 2025 NFL draft is Jalen Knoll, wide receiver out of Iowa State. Man, I just love everything about this guy's game. His 74.1% success rate versus man coverage in reception perception puts him in shouting distance of guys who went late round 1, early round 2 in last year's draft class in Ricky Pearsall and Ladd McConkey. I just think his game is so perfectly translatable to basically every team. He's a vertical route winner from the slot, but he shows you just enough work against man and a little bit press coverage too to think he can play flanker in 2 receiver sets, not just a bunny hop pop gun slot receiver. This guy really gets downfield. He compares so favorably from a reception perception standpoint, actually is a full profile player to Josh Downs, the current Colts receiver. He should go much earlier than that. Downs went way too late in that draft. I think Jalen Knoll's a guy I'd be comfortable taking in late round 1 or early round 2. Great prospect.
Hi, my name is Brett Kollmann. You may know me from classic films such as Man Who Loves Christian Hackenberg and Man Who Put Deshaun Kaiser over Patrick Mahomes in his quarterback rankings. Draft media classics. Now, I'm not talking about quarterback in this video because, quite frankly, I suck at it and I realize my limitations. It's not my position. But one of the positions I am pretty good at is receiver. And there's one receiver in this draft class, above all, that I just have fun watching. And that's Jaden Higgins. To me, Jaden Higgins is what people think Tataroa McMillan is. You know, that classic X receiver that's going to fight press corners and win vertically down the boundary and win contested catches. Like, that is what Jaden Higgins is. I don't necessarily think T-Mac is that skill set. He's shaped like an X receiver, but he's entirely different. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But I think Jaden Higgins, if you're looking forward to X receiver, is your guy in this class. You want somebody who's going to line up on the line of scrimmage, be a vertical threat, be a contested catch threat, obviously do a lot of magic in the red zone. Yes, he can run a wider variety of routes, but when he's that good at goes and posts and curls and slants, why would you want him to do anything else? So if you're looking for somebody who can be like this class's DK Metcalf, for lack of a better comp, I mean, he's not exactly like DK, but if you want somebody for that DK type role, Jaden Higgins is your guy. Again, he's not my highest graded receiver in this class, but he's my favorite receiver. And to be honest, if I was a GM, I would pound the table for him starting somewhere around pick 20. Maybe that's high, but what can I say? I love the guy.
Hey, this is Matt Miller. You know me from ESPN and Bleacher Report before that. My favorite player in this draft class is Abdul Carter. I have him as the #1 overall player in this class. I think he is a special pass rusher with his athleticism, his first step quickness, the violence that he plays with, his closing speed, going to get the quarterback. We've seen that 2 years prior when he was playing linebacker. We certainly saw it this year when he was playing full-time as a pass rusher. And I think the sky's the limit for him in terms of how much better he can get once he is playing edge rusher full-time, once he's adding some of the strength that's needed for that spot, and he's getting coached up by NFL defensive line coaches. So my comparison for him has been Micah Parsons, which I know it's easy with Penn State. They both wore 11. But I think that similar usage, somebody that did play off-ball linebacker, and then you see the special tools that he has as a defensive end.
My favorite prospect in this year's draft class has got to be Travis Hunter. His two-way skill set is just too impressive for me to say anybody else. When he's a wide receiver, you can see his cornerback brain working. He's charting out the defensive coverages, and he understands where the soft spot is in every zone. The guy is always open because of this. And as a cornerback, you can see his wide receiver brain working. He'll have the best ball skills of any DB to ever live. That's no hyperbole. And of course, he understands how the offense's route concepts are trying to put him in conflict. He understands the receiver's timing with the quarterback, so he'll have major production on the ball. And he's got to have the highest floor of all time, because if you put him at wide receiver and he stinks, that's okay. He's got a whole other position that he could be elite at, and vice versa. So Hunter, definitely my favorite prospect in this year's draft.
Hey, what's up, guys? Dane Brugler with The Athletic. You know me from The Beast and everything we have with our NFL draft coverage at The Athletic. My favorite player in the draft, I'm going to go with Derek Harmon, defensive lineman from Oregon. This is a player, 6'4.5", 315 pounds, 34.5-inch arms. I'm a sucker for the guys that hate to be blocked. And for me, that's the perfect way to sum up Harmon. Crafty hands, forces blockers to attack air because he's so explosive off the ball, both laterally and then he can get vertical as well. Burst to the ball, he can close, and he's really versatile. So you want to line him up as a 1 technique, he can do that. You want to line him as more of a 5, he can do that as well. So the different ways that he can win, the versatility that he offers is why he's one of my favorite players in this draft and why he should be drafted somewhere in the top 15, top 16. If he falls out of that, I think he'll be an absolute steal.
Hey, it's Ramon Foster. You may know me, 11-year NFL veteran with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I also have a radio show in Nashville on 104.5 The Zone. Play guard in NFL, college, and tackle. Send this video to acknowledge a guy that I have a draft crush on, basically, at this point, man. And it's Jack Bech, the wide receiver out of TCU. 6'1", over 210 pounds. Did well at his pro day. He's a guy that did very well at the Senior Bowl, in my opinion, man. You know his adversity he and his family have gone through this year, but not just that. His production has been there. His playmaking has been there. And in my opinion, somewhat separated himself at the Senior Bowl as a guy that plays well, man, can run the route tree, can get open, also know how to use his size at being 6'1", almost 6'2". But here's the thing. Played at LSU before transferring out to TCU, where he had a 1,000-yard season this past year. And I look at him as a guy that may not be at the top of your list, but could go on to have a very good NFL career. So that's my draft crush in this 2025 NFL draft.
The NFL draft community ranks quarterbacks too low, especially inexperienced dual threats. Milroe is currently 89th on consensus boards, behind developmental guys at just less valuable positions. He needs work, but to me, he has real NFL traits. The top 5 rushing stuff, very obvious, but he also played better than the narrative from within the pocket, even in 2 different systems. He didn't panic under pressure, only 2% turnover-worthy play rate. He found checkdowns and backside targets. He was actually PFF's quarterback 1 beyond the first read in this draft class. He's got A-tier arm strength, 60-plus yard throws without even stepping up. And most importantly, Miller is just a dude to believe in. Best interview per scouts. He won the academic Heisman, which I don't even know what that means, but I like it. 2-time captain to Alabama post Nick Saban. So I just trust he's going to put in the work. That needs to be at accuracy. That needs to be reading progressions a little bit faster. He needs to scramble more than he did in college. But if he hits, to me, you've got a franchise-altering player.
Hey, guys, just taking a quick break to tell you, hey, just over 50% of you are still unsubscribed to Check the Mic. It helps the channel. It helps to make sure that you don't miss any of our shows. So if you have a chance, hit the subscribe button right now.
Fantasy Life's Thor Nystrom, realizing now that I am wearing a Minnesota Golden Gopher shirt to stump for an Iowa Hawkeye, my favorite player in this draft, running back Caleb Johnson, who came to Minneapolis in late September, over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, almost 10 yards per carry against the Gophers. Had his national coming out party that day. Caleb Johnson obviously went on to have an amazing season. This kid is going to be a star in the NFL for a zone running system, zone running team. That's what that kid does. He's going to find his destiny with that in the zone system. He finds more open holes than analogous zone backs because of his vision, his feel. He sucks forward the linebackers, forces them to declare their gaps before he runs through his. Because of that, he sees a higher preponderance of open holes. That is how Caleb Johnson gets his runway to access his top speed, which is elite. He had the 7th percentile 10-yard split. However, on his runs, just like on his GPS, over 20 mile per hour max speed. When that kid gets in the open field, gets into the 2nd and 3rd level, he is a locomotive at 225 pounds. Caleb Johnson, my favorite player in this draft.
I have 2 favorite players in this NFL draft class. Desmond Watson and Tez Johnson, because there's nothing more fascinating to me than the heaviest player in NFL draft history and the absolute lightest player in this draft. Desmond Watson was a defensive tackle for the Florida Gators. He weighs an astronomical 464 pounds, which makes him 54 pounds heavier than the heaviest NFL player ever, which was Aaron Gibson, who played on the offensive line in the NFL and was the 27th overall pick by the Lions in 1999. Watson, he's not a complete player at the position, I get that, but he recorded the 8th best run-stop grade in the SEC dating back to 2022. The question is, what weight does he need to be effective in the NFL? I like taking a chance on him late in the draft since D linemen can rotate and Watson can be an early down player to be a run stuffer and maybe a godsend to stop the tush push or blow up an obvious short yardage rushing situation. It's rare to say, but he might be a great defensive line specialist. It's also rare to say the smallest dude entering the draft might make a bigger impact for the team that gets him than the biggest. But Oregon receiver Tez Johnson has the potential to be an explosive playmaker in the receiving game. Tez is listed at 165 pounds, but weighed in at $154 at the NFL Combine. You never want to be called Small Johnson, but that's the reality for Tez. He is 2 inches taller than me and weighs about 5 pounds more. He is my last hope a tiny boy like myself can make it in the league. He's also the adopted brother of Broncos quarterback Bo Nix, and when Nix was his QB at Oregon in 2023, Tez scored 10 touchdowns, produced 1,182 receiving yards. That dropped to 898 in 2024, but he still found the end zone 10 times last season. Teams will be scared of his build, but I think the team that drafts him or signs him after the draft is getting a good player who can contribute right away.
All right, Dan and Mark from Heed the Call here, and Tyler Warren, Penn State tight end. That's the dude that we're both crushing on right now. He's got it all. He's got the size. He's got the height. He's got the athleticism. Classic MCP, Mark. Movable chess piece. We missed out on Brock Bowers. Well, don't miss out on Tyler Warren.
Yeah, like if you listen to NFL defensive coaches, they're saying a headache to deal with. He can kind of do it all. He's like a one-handed catch guy. I went way back in the day. I used to go to Holy Cross games in the Northeast, and there was a guy, Gordy Lockbaum, who was a 2-time Heisman candidate, who could kind of do it all, and he kind of reminds me of that dude. So it's like, I don't know, it's like a team like the Bengals trade up for him, like you add that tight end to that offense.
Who?
I know your Jets may want him, Dan. You
Gordy
want him
Lockjaw?
Gordy Lockbaum, like a true NFL classic or a college classic player who was a bit of what you call a Swiss Army knife, a little bit overused, but like
Get
that's
your own
what he
Gordy.
is.
We want him. Tyler Warren. Go get him.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Fran Duffy from PHLY and the All City Network. I would say my favorite draft prospect from this class, I'd have to say it might be Gray Zabel from North Dakota State, the offensive lineman, left tackle by trade over the last couple of years. But I remember watching him. It was the morning after their opener this past year against Colorado. So you're watching him against FBS competition, and I was blown away by this guy's film. And I remember thinking immediately, he reminded me of Graham Barton, who was a 3-year starter at left tackle for Duke the last 3 years, gets drafted in the first round and starts immediately and had a really strong rookie season by all accounts as a center for the Tampa Bay Bucks. And when I'm looking at Gray Zabel, a lot of the same similarities that we saw with Graham Barton. He's athletic, he's tough, he's technically sound, he's
strong. He's got pop on double teams, so there's power there. The athleticism stands out. He goes to the Senior Bowl. He was one of the best players of the week down in Mobile. Everybody saw that. He goes to the Combine. The workout was strong, but then the positional workout also was really, really impressive as well, up close, being down on the field at Lucas Oil Stadium. So for me, I would say Gray Zabel. And really quickly, I'm going to throw Nick Scorton in there only because I was watching Armand Membu, the right tackle from Missouri. My son, who's almost 6 years old, was sitting and watching with me. While I'm asking him what he's thinking as we're watching, and he says, "Dad, who's that guy?" And he points to Nick Scorton. I'm like, you know what? If Nick Scorton hits, this is his first big hit as a draft junkie. So we're going to go Gray Zabel and Nick Scorton.
Hey, what's up? This is Danny Heifetz from the Ringer NFL Draft Show. And my favorite player in the 2025 NFL Draft is Travis Hunter, the receiver and cornerback from Colorado. You do this job long enough, and I think you start to lose touch sometimes with your sense of wonder and awe. And watching Travis Hunter in college made me feel awe, in a way that frankly I don't feel that way watching sports as an adult anymore. I've never been so blown away by a college football player when I wasn't like a child. Honestly, Travis Hunter does things I was told would never happen, and so the idea, I almost think it's underrated because people are so caught up saying, "Oh, is Travis Hunter a full-time receiver who moonlights at cornerback? Is he a full-time cornerback who moonlights at receiver?" What if he just does it again? What if he's Shohei Ohtani? What if he's the best non-quarterback football player since Jim Thorpe 100 years ago? And I look at Travis Hunter. This is a guy who was the best receiver in college football last year and named the best defensive player in college football last year. And so, no offense to Ashton Genty, no offense to the other people in this class, but when I look at Travis Hunter, it's so rare to see something that you've never seen before. And it's not even close. He's my favorite prospect in a really long time.
Gentlemen, Josh Norris here. My favorite prospect in the 2025 NFL Draft, Omar Norman Lott out of Tennessee. If you are 300 plus pounds and pass rush from the interior, you can bend, turn the corner, have some flexibility to you, you go straight to my heart. I mean, this has been the case for, over a decade at this point. I was on Malik Jackson, Grady Jarrett, Javon Hargrave, Sheldon Rankins, most recently, Milton Williams. I know so many people are going to get on here and tell you, oh, my favorite prospects in the first round or the second round. Look, I don't expect a guy with, 160 pass rushing reps this past season in that Tennessee Vol rotation, which, by the way, went about 11 deep in defensive linemen and edge that had 100 plus pass rushing snaps this year. That's what it should be. That's what the Philadelphia Eagles do quite often. Just get fresh bodies out there that on passing situations, on other downs, just wreak havoc up front. And when you look across the board amongst his peers, just a cool 18.8 pass rush win rate this season. The only guy that was even close over the last 2 years, Byron Murphy, round 1 pick last year by the Seattle Seahawks. So again, not even expecting him to go round 3. Possibly it happens. And if it does, just remember the names in the Super Bowl, NFC, AFC Championship. Big time players make big time plays. Omar Norman Lott is coming after that quarterback.
Nate Tice here from Yahoo Sports, going to give my favorite player for the 2025 NFL Draft, and I'm not going to overthink it. That's Ashton Genty, running back from Boise State. He's explosive, he can catch, he can pass protect. What's not to love about a true 4-down running back that can take any touch to the house and can do all the little things that you want from the position? Might not be a premium position, but he's my favorite player. He's an excellent player. He's an awesome player. I think a lot of people think he's an awesome player. If you want a bonus favorite player, it's Jahad Campbell, linebacker, Alabama. Don't really see prospects like this anymore. Big, can run, can cover, can play the run, can also blitz the passer a little bit. Just like that skill set. Genty, Campbell, running back, linebacker, my favorite players for the 2025 draft.
Hey guys, Lance Zierlein, NFL.com. I'm the one that writes the draft profiles and the mock drafts you love to hate. So I got to tell you, Dylan Sampson's the guy that I really love this year, running back from Tennessee. I know he's not the biggest running back, but there was something about watching his tape I absolutely loved. He's very, very natural, very instinctive, able to process quickly and get from gap to gap. If he doesn't like one run lane, he can slide to the other one. Very subtle movements to get there. So there's no wasted motion. He's really efficient. Over 20 rushing touchdowns in a single season in the SEC. I mean, that's no joke. And it shows you that ability to maximize the space that he has. So I like the way he plays. I like the way he runs. I like his instincts. I think he's built for the NFL. I think if he were,
you know, if he were 5'10", 212 pounds, we'd be talking about him potentially cracking the first round. But he's not. He may go somewhere between late second to early third, but that guy's going to be a winner in the NFL. That's my guy, Dylan Sampson.
Hey guys, it's Robert Mace from the Athletic Football Show. My favorite prospect in this year's draft of all the guys that I've watched is Derek Harmon from Oregon. I know that's not really a hipster take, considering most people consider him a first-round guy, but it's a logjam of those defensive tackles that might go in the first round. And he's just my favorite one. I think it's just a combination of always moving toward the quarterback. He just has that gravity where it always feels like he's making progress toward the pocket, into the pocket. You see that in the pressure numbers, but it's also just the way his body moves. And I think that extends to the run game as well. He doesn't have the size that some of the other defensive tackles in this class do, but he's such a sturdy player. His ability to anchor versus double teams, his ability to react and respond to blocks no matter which angle they're coming from. I just think that he gives you so much in every facet of the game, and I love what he's able to do on stunts, both as a looper and a penetrator. I just think overall, combined with his own production, he's just the type of guy that when you drop him into your defense, he makes the other defensive tackle better, he makes your edge rushers better, he makes your linebacker better. He is a plus player in so many ways.
Hey guys, I don't know if this is my exact favorite player in the draft, but he's someone who's definitely caught my eye and I'm rooting for him. That's Shavon Revel. And he goes by Shavon Revel Jr. out of East Carolina. And he missed a lot of 2024 with a knee injury, but boy, did he make his case in 2023 and early in 2024. 6'2", about 188 pounds. Going to run less than 4.4, high 4.3s. Can't wait to see him get back in form. But I'm going to start with his tackling. This is a guy who's very aggressive in everything he does. He will definitely chest people up, not afraid in the run game at all. And they also use him as a blitzer, and he's really effective that way. I like him outside as a corner. I think that he's still got some work to do, kind of a little bit on the raw side. But you can see all the potential that's there. He's going to battle you each and every time you come downfield and find the football. And that's the biggest part about him. He is a ball magnet. If it's on the ground, if it's in the air, he's going to be in the vicinity and he's going to take it and go the other direction. I really like this young man's potential. If he had played all of 2024, we'd be talking about him as a first-round corner.
I'm EJ Snyder from Bootleg Football and the Bear Era podcast, and one of my favorite football players in the 2025 NFL Draft is wide receiver Jalen Royals from Utah State. He's 6 foot, 205 pounds, ran a blazing 4.42 40 at the combine with a ridiculous 1.49 second 10-yard split. He's got big-time size. He's an easy hands catcher of the football, and he's physical before, during, and after the catch. He's a bull. He'll run through people. He's a threat all over the field, runs a much more diverse route tree than most other college receivers, and because of all those things, I think he is going to play in the league for a very long time. Jalen Royals, wide receiver, Utah State. Keep your eye on him.
What's up, Sam, Steve? This is Marcus Whitman, that franchise guy on YouTube. My favorite prospect this year is David Walker out of Central Arkansas. Gotta love his unicorn build at 6'1.5", but a strong, athletic, 262 pounds, tested well at the combine. Really, the main question with him is just simply whether his skill set translates to the next level. But with that size, he comes in fast, he comes in low, and he comes in hard. His signature rip move or his bull rush, he just gets up and under guys' pads and tests a leverage point that I don't think offensive linemen know how to handle it. I think we all agree this is like a historically deep edge class, but to me, as a day 2, early day 3 guy where he might go right now, his upside actually stands out to me. His skill set reminds me a lot of guys like Brandon Graham or Olivier Vernon, who made Pro Bowls at the NFL level. So my favorite player, one of my biggest sleepers this year, David Walker, Central Arkansas.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Brandon Thorn with the Trench Warfare newsletter and Bleacher Report. I'm here to tell you about one of my favorite offensive linemen in this draft. And I was kind of torn between a couple guys, but I'm going to go ahead and go with Ohio State left tackle Josh Simmons. And the reason for that is because I think if he were to play a full season this year, he would be my top tackle in the draft. It's just tough to value him at that level because he did get hurt after 5 games with a patella injury. that seems to be going well in terms of his recovery process, but it does kind of throw a wrench in things. And, we didn't see that full sample size. He also made a significant jump from the 2023 season to the 2024 season. So you really wanted to see him put together what he did through 5 games for a full year, because he was dominant. And I just think I did at least. I saw all the top things that you would want to see from a high-end left tackle in terms of the way he's built, his frame, his build, the way he moves, movement skills, movement patterns, overall athletic ability. I thought was very good. He had a lot of natural power as well to kind of rock guys and uproot them off their feet. He could finish at a high level, lead around the edge and take out the force player like we are accustomed to seeing from high-level blindside protectors. So, and also the range and pass protection to expand the set points, protect the corner against speed, recover inside. It's just kind of all there. So I'm going to go with Josh Simmons.
What's up, everybody? Yours truly, Emory Hunt, the czar of the Playbook Football Game Plan and CBS Sports HQ. My favorite prospect in the draft class is Travis Hunter. The reason why, he can be a first-round pick as a receiver or as a cornerback. We've never seen anyone like him before that can do it well on both ends of the field, both sides of the football. Great athlete, great person, great football player. My favorite prospect in the class.
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.